Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar today. My name is Jeremy Daly, and I'm the Cybersecurity Lead here at DDLS, based in Australia. I'll be the moderator of today's session. Before we begin, I'd like to quickly run through some housekeeping. This webinar is in listen mode only and will be recorded and distributed to all attendees after the session is over. This session will run for approximately 45 minutes with Q&A at the very end if time permits. If you have any questions, please type them into the question box in the control panel and we'll do our best to address them all. So my role at DDLS is I'm responsible for managing and implementing the strategic growth and direction of the cybersecurity training category within DDLS. Over the course of the next 40 minutes, we're going to discuss some of the new cyber certifications that DDLS have just announced and how these are relevant to many professionals looking to progress throughout their cyber career. Whether you're upskilling in cloud security, security administration, incident response, digital forensics, systems auditing, or wanting to better integrate information security with governance, risk and compliance, then you're in the right webinar. Joining me today is Cremen, DDLS's lead cybersecurity technical instructor, who delivers the CISP, CISM, CSSLP, Certified Ethical Hacker, Security Plus, and recently CRISC and CISA. And fun fact, Louis was just awarded the EC Council Instructor of the Year for our region as well. Louis, great to have you here today.
Great to be here. It's very exciting.
It is, and look, we've got an interesting session lined up for those who are on the webinar today. But before we start looking at some of the new certifications, I'm just going to bring up this slide, which, you know, this is going to align really nicely with some of the certs we're talking about. And when I say align, some of the roles that we're seeing on the screen. Louis, you and I often refer to this slide. You know, we talk about it offline as well when we are looking at different courses, but I guess what it really shows is how large, you know, how many different cybersecurity roles there are out there.
Yeah, definitely. I get a lot of students that come through a lot of my different classes and they're like, I really want to get into security, or, you know, what should I do next after this, you know, great class we've just done? And I'm like, okay, well, which direction do you want to go? And like, I want to go to security. I'm like, well, hang on a second. Security is quite wide. Which part do you want to go into? And then, you know, we have chats about, you know, what's in security operation, what's in architecture, what's in, you know, risk management. And then the good thing about it is that there's something there for a lot of people. You know, there's some people that like that technical heavy. There's some people that like that, you know, they'd be able to build things. People like to break things. And then there's people who are more sort of high level and want to align with how business works. People align with things like governance and frameworks. There's a whole bunch of things that exist in the area of information security. And exactly as you were saying there, Jeremy, some of the courses we've got align with so many different roles now. It's exciting. I'm very excited.
It is. So I suppose we should have a look, shouldn't we, at what's new, what's come out. So we have some fantastic offerings from the vendors that you see on screen. So from ISACA, EC Council, Offensive Security. I know a lot of people are excited about that one. PCB and ISC squared as well. So there is something new coming from ISC squared that you're going to talk about today. All of these vendors are globally recognized. You know, their certification courses that are on offer across the world are widely recognized, and many of them are what people will strive to achieve throughout their career. So to get us underway, we're going to have a look at a new certification that we've just put on from ISACA called the Certified in Risk and Information Systems Control, or CRISC. So this is a management-focused certification. It is aimed at professionals with 3 or more years of experience. And this certification is around demonstrating your expertise in identifying and managing enterprise IT risk and implementing and maintaining information systems controls. So it's a 4-day class, which does have that heavy focus on enterprise IT risk management. And it's all around focusing on best practices and continuous risk monitoring and reporting within the organization. And look, what I'm going to do is just flip to the next slide here, which actually has a bit of a breakdown about the course. Now, Louis, you're going to be delivering this course for us. We've got the first run is happening in September. Can you just talk through the 4 course topics that are covered off over those 4 days?
Yes, definitely. So one of the things that CRISC does really well is for those of you paying attention to the area of information security, security sort of used to be this thing you sort of bundled inside of IT, and it's sort of broadened out to making sure we can manage risks inside of an organization, and obviously risks related to information security, which is sort of our main focus here. And when it comes to doing this effectively, I've got a class of CISM that I'm doing right now, and the one thing that we talk about all of today actually is having security integrated into governance, so it's integrated across the entire organization, is a key aspect of protecting our organization, and particularly when it comes to managing risk across the organization. This is what we talk about in our first day of looking at CRISC. After that, in our second day, we look at IT risk assessment, so how to look at our vulnerabilities, look at our threats, do risk analysis, do risk assessment types. And of course, that leads us to risk response, risk reporting. So risk response, how are we going to respond to that? Are we going to mitigate the risk? Are we using a control for it? Are we going to transfer the risk? Are we going to accept the risk as is? Are we going to avoid the risk by not doing that practice at all, because we don't therefore not doing that risk? When I say risk avoid, by the way, this is not sticking your head in the sand and ignoring the risk. That's not a risk response choice. You can't write that down in an exam, get it right. That's not going to happen. And then reporting that risk. So part of that is going to be using risk registers, having risk owners, having accountability, and making sure that the people who are looking at the risk or own the risk are reviewing that every period of time, maybe every year. And then a part of all this is that when it comes to information security, information technology, we don't have to, but one of the types of controls we use is an information technology control. And so we talk about some of the different controls there. It's not a very technical class, but there's definitely some technical aspects when it comes to protecting informations. So those are the 4 different topics across 4 different days. It's a really good class for those that are looking at honing in their risk ability and being able to manage risk in the area of information security.
And so we're sort of recommending at least 3 years of experience coming into it. We've got the target audience on the screen there. So we're looking at security directors or managers or people who are involved in compliance or risk, in privacy, audit, and then we've also listed some existing certifications which people may have already completed out there. So courses like the SSCP or CISA Plus, and then even the CISM and the CISA from ISACA would also complement this course very nicely. And again, it's really designed for those who want to take that pathway within their career and move into an IT risk management role.
And I've had a number of students that have sat my CISM class and sat my CISM classes that are like, hey, this has been great. When are you doing CRISC? When are you guys doing CRISC? And so for those
September.
people, hopefully they're on the call right now, we're doing CRISC.
Yep.
We made that happen.
And we'll circle back to CRISC at the very end of the presentation as well, around the first class. We've got something just to announce with that as well. But okay, no, that's great, Louis. So let's move on to another new course. So the Certified Cloud Security Engineer, or CCSE, from EC Council. Now, this one's brand new. It launched a few months ago. It's been extremely popular already. And this course has been designed essentially to meet the demand for cloud security professionals. So this is about equipping individuals with cloud security skills and also helping organizations build some robust in-house cloud security teams. One thing EC Council have said is they've identified that there is a talent drought in this field, which is quite alarming, especially considering the high demand that we're seeing for cloud security professionals out there. And some of the factors that they're attributing towards this is that there's a lack of specialized professionals who are equipped to actually handle some of the cloud complexities with the most up-to-date skills and resources. And a lot of enterprises are lacking the necessary knowledge to actually train their personnel to meet some of these specific cloud security needs. What's quite unique about this course as well is that it blends vendor neutral and vendor specific cloud security concepts. So, when you have a look at the offering of our cybersecurity certifications at DDLS, we do have a lot of vendor-focused security courses, but then we also have what are considered vendor-neutral courses. They're like Security Plus, your CISP, your Certified Ethical Hacker, etc. And so where this course is different is we've actually got a little bit of both across the 5 days. So there's vendor neutral learnings, and then there's vendor specific concepts as well. So if we actually have a look at the course and some of the topics that it covers, so it is a hands-on learning course. It does come with more than 50 labs. And so for those who might have sat EC Council courses in the past, they are very content heavy. They do have a lot of labs, but this takes it to the next level. And so being a hands-on learning course, it's all around adopting an approach to understanding the fundamentals of cloud security. This is fantastic for anyone who might have already sat any of the AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud training with us in the past, or some of the security courses. And of course, professionals who might hold some certifications already in security and are looking after their cloud. And so this course provides a deep focus and demonstration on a lot of the widely used vendor-specific cloud security practices, tools, and technologies across the 5 days. Covers both technical and also the operational aspect of cloud security. And what's really interesting is some of the focus of the topics. You can see them on the screen. You know, we've got penetration testing, forensics and investigation, incident response, business continuity and disaster recovery, and even governance, risk and compliance related to security practices in the cloud. And Louis, I know when we've been, when we were talking about this course before it launched recently, and even just the other day, just when we were having a chat about the webinar coming up, I think I made the comment to you around how it's really interesting now in the cloud course that we're seeing so much more focus on GRC and disaster recovery and business continuity, and even pen testing and forensics in a cloud course.
Yeah, and when it comes to BCDR governance, over the last few years, whether it be COVID driven or not, there was a lot of push towards the cloud, a lot of push towards having things in there. But so particularly from a business continuity disaster recovery perspective, but even if we look at some of the other areas there around having data security in the cloud, like some of the different privacy laws that we need to align with, how we protect things and how we put things in the cloud, I think is a really important thing we look at. And you were talking about things like penetration tests in the cloud. Just because we've moved things from on-prem to cloud environments doesn't mean we don't have to worry about its security. In fact, the opposite is true. We are still accountable for the data we put into the cloud, even though it's on someone else's environment. And so being able to protect that data in the cloud environment, being able to test to make sure that it is secure, and being a EC Council product, there is a focus on labs, vendor neutral, but also vendor specific. It's like, here is the overview of what you need. Here's the foundations that work everywhere. And instead of learning something, the Amazon way, the Microsoft way, the Google way, and really focusing on just those technologies, there's this vendor neutral approach. But then, what is the vendor specific way to deal with that? How you do this in Amazon is going to be different than how you do this within Microsoft. And so having both of those approaches in one is a really valuable thing to have in a class.
And look, for many individuals, they might be working in a multi-cloud environment as well. Being able to have those skills to utilize, I think it's great. And if they do move as well in their career, they are going to have some understanding if they do move to a different provider. And so if we have a look at who this course is for, it really is aimed at our network security administrators or network security engineers and defenders, any role that is involved in securing the traditional network environments, but also then cloud administrators and cloud engineers, and anyone that's managing the cloud platforms. And so it is going to give you those skills that you are going to need if you are working in the cloud. Like we said, it's been very popular so far in Australia. We are the only provider that are offering it at the moment. The first 2 courses were full, which was fantastic, and I think we're going to see this one really take off over here. So ISC squared, we mentioned there was something new coming from ISC squared, and so we're really happy to be able to talk about this today. So DDLS are ISC squared's only preferred official training partner in the country. and we are going to be delivering the new entry-level cybersecurity certification, which they've just announced. It's still in pilot phase at the moment. Lou and myself have been involved in that pilot period, going through and looking at the content, and have also sat for the pilot exam. And this certification is all about enabling students or incoming professionals and career changes to actually build confidence in entering their first cybersecurity role. And what this certification does is it will help prove that you have the foundation knowledge and skills and abilities necessary for very entry level or junior level cybersecurity roles. And by having this certification, it's proving that you have an understanding of the fundamental security best practices, policies and procedures, and that you really are starting your cyber career. So if I go to the next slide, we'll just have a look at what this course covers off. So there's 5 domains. Now this, like I said earlier, this course is really aimed at people who are looking for entry or junior level roles, and it is aimed at individuals who don't have who really don't have any IT experience coming in. So it is very much a starter level course. If you're doing your A+ or your Network Plus, you might look to do this at the same time. But if we have a look at the topics, and I'll just run through each of the domains quickly. So, with domain 1, security principles, it's all around understanding the security concepts of information security. So the CIA triad, understanding risk management process and different types of security controls. And then for domain 2, it's all around understanding business continuity, disaster recovery, and incident response concepts, as well as physical and logical access. Domain 4 goes into access control. Domain 3 covers off physical and logical access, not domain 2. Apologies for that. And then domain 4 goes into network security. And so again, it's understanding the fundamentals of computer networking and the various threats and attacks that a network may face. And then also a high-level understanding of network security infrastructure. So it goes through the OC table at a high level and talks about routers and firewalls. And then domain 5 is security operations. So it's around understanding data security and system hardening, and using best security policies, and also understanding security awareness training. So it really is quite unique in terms of cyber certifications, in the sense that it is very foundational level. It really is aimed at that very early starting point for those who are looking to enter and potentially change careers. Louis, just some of your thoughts on the course topics here as well.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see what this is and what this evolves into, because we're going through the pilot program, and a lot of the things that come up in this thing, I know they say it's for entry level, but I actually there's a number of IT people that I think would benefit from going through this, because if they just want to be across the surface level of what security looks at, but still stay in the area of IT. I actually think this would be a really good course. I'm actually really excited to sort of see what IC Squared do with this one, because I know they're targeted directly at the entry level, but I do think that if someone needs that entry level knowledge, I do feel that this would be a really good certification that gets people across a lot of different terminology, a lot of different priorities, the things that we care about in security. Whether you are going to stay in security or not, I don't think it matters. I think this is a really good course in general for both of that. So I'm really excited to see what comes from this, and sort of how the market reacts to this one. This is going to be a really good course. I think from what I understand from you, Jeremy, is that you're already getting people asking for it before it's even ready.
Yeah.
So I think this one's going to be a big one, I think.
Yeah, look, and it shouldn't be too far off. We'll put information out once it does go live. But Louis, you made an interesting point there about people who who might be in IT and need that fundamental overview of security. And this does a really good job at communicating that as well. It does, it gives you the essentials that you need to know. And yeah, I'm really excited for it as well. It's going to be a good course, I think. So the other announcement that we've got from ISC Squared as well is we now have self-paced e-learning available, and this is the official ISC Squared self-paced training. So we have the CISP, the SSCP, and the CCSP all available. And look, this is quite good, but DDLS already deliver these courses, and we do it in a 5-day exam review course. So and we understand that there are a number of individuals who may not be able to come to a course for the 5 days and are happy to look to actually train in their own time. And so this is a really good option. So, if you're on the webinar today and you're thinking, gosh, I'd love to do my CISP. I know I can't make one of the 5-day classroom courses. Well, this is now the next option. This is all official courseware. You get 180 days access to the official course content. There's videos, there's real world scenarios. You get all the end of chapter practice questions. There's the flashcards. And with the CISSP and the SSCP, there's also access to Instructor email support and 24/7 chat, which is actually run by ISC Squared as well. The CCSP self-paced learning is a little bit different. We think that may change and be more similar with the access to the instructor emails and the technical support with the release of the new version. So the CCSP is getting an update on the 1st of August. So we're just waiting to see what happens there. But certainly, this is new. We only made it available 4 weeks ago. You are going to see us start to push a little bit of this out now in some of the marketing and through the website. But we've already seen really good take up from people. So it is a very good way, if you are looking to do one of these certifications, to actually put yourself through at your own pace, as long as you do it within the 180 days. And by that stage, you're hopefully in a position ready to sit your exam. Louis, any thoughts on self-paced training?
Yeah.
Or any tips for those who are thinking about undertaking it?
Yeah, definitely. This is one of those things that the course content, there's a lot in there. You need to make sure that you've got some time after hours, or your work allows you to have some time to sort of study this. But certainly, if you're looking to get, you're looking to get that green badge, looking to get that, get the CISP, if you can't, spend 40 hours away from work at a time, this could be the option for you. And doing it through DDLS, obviously, certain organizations it's more beneficial. So this is going to be a good option for those that can't spend a week with myself or with some of our other instructors we have here. This is a good option.
And you made a good point about if you are going to self-pace, you do need to make sure that you put the time aside to do it. I did my SSCP self-paced, and you really do need to get yourself into a routine of allocating a couple of hours a night just to study and just keep reviewing, especially as you're prepping for your exam. But it is a great option. As I said before, it is all official content as well from ISC Squared. So our next new vendor is a brand new vendor with DDLS. They're called PECB. And the reason that we've brought them on is that they're a certification body who provide a lot of the ISO training. And so, we're seeing information security threats and attacks grow and also improve constantly. And so organizations, they're becoming more increasingly concerned about how valuable their information is handled and protected. And so, often the best case is proper implementation and management of controls and best practices. And what we're seeing is a lot of organizations are required to now adhere to standards such as ISO 27001. And so what we've done is we've partnered with PECB to actually bring on and deliver the ISO 27001 lead implementer and lead auditor courses. What you might not know about PECB is, along with the information security and resiliency courses they offer, which ISO 27001 fall into, they also offer GRC and privacy ISO accredited courses, and even quality and sustainability courses as well. So they have quite a wide catalogue. And I will say watch this space, because we are looking to also bring on some more courses from in this range. But if we have a look at the ISO 27001 courses, so we'll start with the lead implementer course. And this is a perfect addition or certification to any of our current security certifications, as it's really aimed at some of these technical professionals who may be required to actually implement an information security management system, or ISMS, based on the requirements of 27001. And the idea is it aims to provide a comprehensive understanding of the best practices of an ISMS and the framework for continual management and improvement. And Louis, look, I know, with especially with some of the classes you deliver, some of the higher end ones like the CISP, or even in some of the, I think in Security Plus it even talks about 27001 maybe as a standard. Is this something that your students are telling you that they're seeing more of a requirement for within their organisations now, like there is a requirement to actually either align to the standard or meet the standard?
Definitely. Like, when it comes to certain government organizations, like New South Wales government, has a requirement to align with a framework, and some of them are choosing ISO 27001. Queensland state government's a requirement to align with ISMS and within ISO 27001. We're seeing, with certain supply chain attacks that have happened over the last few years. So particularly groups like SolarWinds, there was a sort of big attack involving SolarWinds. And so a lot of organizations have been paying attention to who they work with and what their security controls are. And many of them are starting to go, well, maybe we should be looking at, and some of them are doing this, requiring our partners to be ISO certified to show that they are actually considering information security and actually have a system in place to protect the data that they are giving them. And so this is becoming more popular as part of vendor relationships, as well as organizations who want to tell their customers, hey, we care about security. Here's the stamp that we've gotten from ISO saying that we have met this level of security. So we are seeing a lot more students and a lot more people sort of talking about ISO 2001. It's been around for a while. It's not a new thing, but we're seeing a lot more attention to it. And so a number of my students have come in saying, either they align with 27001 or they are looking to. So this is definitely the perfect course if you're looking to implement ISO 27001 for an organization.
Correct. And, there'd be many people within a team, within an organization who will be responsible for that. So you don't necessarily need to be technical either to sit on this if you are part of a team. It is going to help and give you an overview in terms of what is required. But on the flip side of implementing, then, we also have the lead auditor course as well. And so, this is essentially about giving you the skills to plan and carry out both internal and external audits. So, and what's interesting about these courses, and the same goes with the implementer as well, is, the contents actually comprise of practical exercises and case studies as well. So it'll bring you real world expertise, and that'll help you when it comes to your day-to-day operations and activities, and being able to apply those as well. The lead auditor, I guess, this would complement some of our more management focused courses, I guess, like CISM and CISA and CISP. Louis, would I be correct in saying that?
Yeah. So this, I'll admit, this class is not going to be for absolutely everyone. This is going to be for someone who is going into or is already in the audit space and is looking to audit for information systems. Now, whether it is ISO 27K or not, that's a different matter. But this course obviously very specifically looks at ISO 2001 and preparing you for an audit or preparing you to perform an audit, which is two sides of a very similar coin. But having some of those different exercises on actually sort of mastering different audit techniques. And then what to look for and how to make sure that someone adheres to ISO 2001 and the different Annex A controls that ISO has, and different control frameworks within ISO. It's all part of the course here. This is a really good course if you're looking to go down that auditor path or to adhere to an auditor's requirements path. That's what this class is going to be good for if you're going to be in this space.
Excellent. So we're sort of covering both, but we're covering the course for the individuals who are actually involved in the implementation and need the understanding on how to do that. And then for those who are actually looking to perform the audits, then we've got this course for them.
Definitely.
All right.
I think for those that are looking at doing it's the government auditing position. I've forgotten it now, but this is
IRAP assessor program.
The IRAP assessors.
Yeah,
this is one of
this is category B, I think, from memory.
Yeah.
So
for that one.
CISP or CISM for category A, and I think ISO lead auditor for category B, maybe CISA. I'm not 100% on that, so don't quote me.
Yeah.
All right. So our newest vendor is Offensive Security. And, most security professionals will have heard of Offensive Security, or they know who they are. Offensive Security have some of the most rigorous training programs which are industry standard, and their certifications are highly sought after as well. So, we're really excited. I know Louis is extremely excited as well about having offensive security on board now. And, so offensive security, their training is built upon the belief that the only way to achieve sound defensive security is to take an offensive approach. And they help people develop the try harder mindset with hands-on, real world-like labs, with the outcome to equip you with the skills to succeed in tackling some of the challenges of cybersecurity in everyday life and work. Offensive Security's mission is to empower the world to fight cyber threats by inspiring the try harder mindset. And so at DDLS, we're going to be supplying their entire catalogue of self-paced training. It is quite a big catalogue, so let's dive into it and have a look. So if you've been following offensive security over the years, you're going to notice that this slide's a bit busier than what it used to be. Traditionally, a team or an individual learning with OffSec would usually start with the OSCP or the Pen 200. But what we have now are new level 100 courses. We've also got some new level 200 and 300 courses. And we have a new subject, Security Operations Center. So this is the first defensive-minded subject, which is aimed at junior analysts and threat hunters. But look, what I might do first is I think we'll talk about the 4 standalone courses. So these are the OSCP, the OSEP, the OSWE, and the OSED certifications. And these are the ones that most individuals would be familiar with. And these are what we call standalone courses. So you're able to take these, buy them as a single course, not part of a subscription, and you get your 90 days lab access and your 1 exam attempt as well. But Louis, I mean, you deliver our ethical hacker course at DDLS. You're a master ethical hacker as well. You've achieved that certification. I know when I told you that we were bringing OffSec on board, you were really excited. Give me your thoughts, especially on the Pen 200, the OSCP. It's a very popular course. It's sort of the main course that a lot of professionals aim to achieve. I know it's got an absolutely brutal exam as well. It's a full-on practical exam. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, you've had many conversations. It's like, hey, when are we offensive security? When are we doing that? Look,
I would say soon.
Yeah, that's right. No, look, the ethical hacking class is a fantastic class that the DC Council runs, and that's very much a foundation class. It's very much here is the foundation level things. When we look at things like OSCP, that's the next level. Like easily the next level. And that 24-hour practical exam is rough. Like the reason why the OffSec mindset is to try harder is that they will set challenges, and you'll have real world challenges as well, and you won't be able to break them unless, of course, you try harder. And that is really the mindset mentality that offensive security really push into their students. And so OSCP has been one of the certification goals for a lot of people in this space. And then for those who want to go deeper, usually get into some of the different evasion and exploit development classes. That's OSEP and OSED. That's Pen 300 and EXP 301. And then for those that want to get into web application attacks, traditionally, there's been Web 300 as well, the OSWE. Now, those have been the traditional ones. Those are the ones that people are very familiar with. But as you can see, there's a number there that say new on them. And it's really exciting to see offensive security, be, I don't want to say introduction, but this idea that they're easing people into it as opposed to, here's the top. Let's go in for that one.
Yep.
I'm really excited to see what's coming from this one. But the fact that they're sort of applying some of that try harder principles to some of their more foundation classes, I think we're going to see some interesting things that come out of this one.
Yeah, exactly. And the foundational classes are really, it's an interesting move, and it really is aimed at those who are starting down this track. Really excited as well to see that they have the Security Operations Center subject in there as well, and obviously they got the SOC 100, which is covered off at that level 1, but then the SOC 200, this is all around teaching students the mindset required to assess and respond to security incidents. So it's quite good that they're also taking that track now.
I can guarantee there's a few people that are watching this screen going, "Oh, that OSCE cubed cert looks pretty good."
Yes.
I think I've got a few friends that look at that and go, "Oh, I'm going to get that one." So they've now introduced into the OSCE, which if you get OSEP, WE, and ED, then you get the OSCE cubed cert, which is a new cert to replace the old OSCE cert.
A lot of work to get there, but well worth it. The other one as well that I just want to touch on, Louis, and you talked about exploit development, is the EXP3112, and this is actually Mac OS control bypasses. So it's an exploit development course for Mac OS. So it's all around focusing on local privilege escalation and bypassing the operating system's defenses as well. So it is aimed at that Mac OS system. So it's quite good that they've dropped that in there as well. So I mentioned before there's 4 standalone courses, so the OSCP, EP, WE, and ED. But you might go, okay, so how do I do the other courses as well? And so this is what's really good is there's a whole range of annual subscriptions now that are available. So you can see on the left, we have Learn Fundamentals. Then there's the Learn One and the Learn Unlimited. And so these are essentially aimed, for people starting out all the way to those who are, attempting to do the new CUBE certification as well. And it really is aimed at a wide range of skills and job roles. And they do include certifications and assessments. So the Learn Fundamentals subscription, this is touted by OffSec as a beginner level training path. So it's a 12-month subscription, and the idea is it's a training plan to support learning and professional development for those who are passionate about cyber, but might not have a wide understanding of it. And what they're doing is they're giving you an introduction. So if we have a look at Pen 100, it gives you an introduction to cryptography and web application basics and working with shells. You've then got the Web 100 will look at web attacker methodology, gives an introduction to secure coding and input validation. And then SOC 100 is all around enterprise network architecture, the SOC management process, and Windows logging. And so you get access to all the content for 12 months. You get assessments and can earn badges. But what's really good about this this Learn Fundamentals product is that they're also giving you access to the Pen 103, which is the Kali Linux revealed, and the exam for that, so you can sit the exam, and also their Pen 210, which is their wireless attacks course, and again, so access to the courseware and one exam attempt there. So it really is a good product for those who are looking to start their journey into this and are looking to potentially sit the OSCP. And Lou, I guess, someone who's, who has delivered a number of courses that would align to a few of these topics, do you see this as a good starting point for someone, to go through and to actually get to play on the labs and learn these fundamentals before, they do want to move forward or move on in their career to something that's a bit more higher level?
One of the exciting things about some of the announcements today is that we've been complaining as an industry that there's not a lot of great ways into entry to security, and even my path was like you sort of fell into security through for me it was software development. But now that we're getting places like ISC squared, offensive security that are really sort of targeting those fundamentals, we're now going to be doing security first. In some places, as opposed to figuring out security the hard way, which is a lot of places have done. And so I'm really excited to see and to have offensive security sort of get into this space, because they're well known in some of in the penetration testing area to then move or take that mentality to the fundamental level. It's very exciting. I think there's going to be some good stuff that comes out of Pen 100, SOC 100, and Web 100. And from that could also help a person go, well, actually, I really like penetration testing. And they go, actually, I really don't like penetration testing. I really want to get into actually go into defending. I like the SOC 100. And that's going to help people understand which path you're on. Because people who want to go into security don't really know what they want until they start playing around and they go, actually, I really like XYZ. And
If you
so this
remember
is a
back to
great,
that first slide as well, there's
yeah,
so many different paths, different roles.
yeah, and this is a great way to sort of get across those different fundamentals, and then also figure out, well, actually, I really like going down this path, and that's the path they take.
So if we have a look at the other two products now, so these are the other two new subscription plans. So what I'm going to do is start on the right-hand side, which is what's called Learn Unlimited. So students who opt for the Learn Unlimited subscription get unlimited access to the entire offensive security course library. So you get all the course materials, the videos, the labs, unlimited exam attempts for a 1-year period. It also includes access to the level 100 courses that we saw, and then all the level 200, all the level 300 courses. And in addition to that, you also get 12 months access to the Proving Grounds practice labs, which are community-driven, exercise-based machines. And then on the left side, we've got the Learn One subscription. And so with the Learn One subscription, you can select a single offset course, and you can see the courses that you can choose from there. So they're a number of the 200 and 300 courses. And you'll get 12 months access to the books, the materials, the videos, the labs, and you get 2 exam attempts as well for that selected course. Plus, you also get access again to the level 100 library. So this is good. If someone goes, you know what, I really do want to do, I want to do the SOC course. I want to do the SOC 200. With this subscription, you can go through and do all the level 100 stuff first. You also get access to the Kali Linux, so the Pen 104 and the Pen 210 certifications in there with exam attempts as well. And you also get the Proving Grounds practice access. So, that's quite good if you want to go in and hone your skills. So there's some good options there for people who are going, well, yep, I know which path I want to go. I know which course I want to do from the 200 and the 300 series. That's where one of these subscriptions would be really good. Or if you're at the level where you want to have a go at as many of these 200 and 300 level certifications from offensive security, and you're going to give yourself 12 months to do that, then the Learn Unlimited subscription is really good. The other products that are also available from offensive security, and we haven't done a slide for it, we just thought we'd just talk to it, is that there is also Proving Grounds for enterprise and enterprise teams as well. And they're configured like real world networks, and they allow your teams to train in different scenarios. All of the courses and all of the information are now up on the DDLS website as well. So everything's there. If you want to go in and have a look, you can get the course syllabus for each of the courses, the standalone courses that are available, and then there's more course information for the subscriptions as well. But we're really excited about this, really excited to have been able to partner with Offensive Security to bring our students the range of courses. So we've spoken about a number of new courses from 5 different vendors today, but how do they fit into someone's career path? And over the next 2 slides, we're just going to have a look at some feeder roles and some of the certifications that you might do throughout your career. Now, there's a lot of different security-related certifications, and we've got a slide coming up that covers that off. But this is just looking at some of the core certifications that DDLS deliver. And look, seeing we're coming off the back of talking about offensive security, let's have a look at the pen tester certification. The pen tester feeder role that we have down the bottom. And some of the courses that you might do if you're going to aim to become a pen tester. And Louis, I'm going to ask you to talk to this line, if you don't mind, because I know you deliver, the exception of the offensive security courses, you do deliver the Security Plus and the CEH, but just looking at the pathway we've mapped out, why these courses?
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at the Learn One and Learn Unlimited subscription we saw before, I was like, I got to figure out which one of those I want. I got to figure out whether I just want to go for Pen 200 or whether I want to try my hand at some of the 300 level ones. But certainly, if you are going down the penetration testing path, there is a lot of information to know. A lot of different tools, a lot of different techniques. And then once you sort of get more and more advanced, you're looking at exploit development and looking at APT emulation. There's a lot of things that sort of go into being a penetration tester, but you've got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. And I think the Security Plus and Ethical Hacking classes give you a fantastic overview. Security Plus gives you an overview across all of security, whereas Ethical Hacker is those foundation classes, foundation level tools and attack techniques, which I think are really important and vital. And I get, all my students that go through my 5-day class are absolutely flabbergasted with the amount of information they get. And if we get similar information in the OSCP new courses, I'd be very excited to see that as well. But no matter what, you need some fundamental knowledge in information security and different attack tools. Once you've done that, once you're on that path to penetration tester, then you're going for OSCP. That's usually the next one after Ethical Hacker. That's students that come by me anyway, and they'll go to OSCP afterwards if they want to stay in the offensive security space. They don't always. Some people go into the attack class and go, actually, I want to go back to being a defender. Great, that's perfect. But now they've also got those SOC classes as well in the offensive security line. But if you are going to stay in the offensive security space, you need to know how systems are working, you know how networks work, you know how our web works, and OSCP looks at that and also looks at exploit development as well. So some really good classes from offensive security, and a lot of the foundation classes we get from CompTIA and Ethical Hacker or from EC Council are phenomenal for penetration tester.
Yep. And look, I'm just mindful of time, so I'll quickly touch on the security administrator feeder role there. We're looking at SSCP, which is a great course for people who have some security remit already, have a security understanding and just want to validate that. Incident handler is really good. It's all around how to handle a breach, what to do, how to actually reduce the impact of the incident, and it addresses all those stages involved in incident handling and the response process. The SOC 100 we've got in there, we discussed that previously, and then we have cybersecurity analyst, again, which is a great course to learn about, how to identify vulnerabilities, threats, and risks to an organization, how to perform security analysis of that organization, and learn some of those skills that are going to be required, in a role like that. And the SOC 200's in there. And then, as you move out through your career, you would look to top it off with something like the CISSP. And you'll notice at the bottom as well, we've got ongoing vendor technology skills training throughout your career. That won't change. You're always going to be learning new technologies, new skills on how to operate and use that technology to the best of its ability as well. So that goes, that sort of goes hand in hand. And what you'll see here are 3 other roles. So systems and network administrator and analyst type roles, software development, and cloud security. So again, there's a range of courses you can do to actually build out that pathway, throughout your career. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out to Louis and myself. We're both on LinkedIn, or reach out to your account manager or BDM, and they can look to also, get some more information for you as well. We mentioned before around the number of certifications. This is a slide that Louis and I actually utilize quite a bit sometimes when we are doing some other webinars. And what's really cool about it is the number down that bottom right-hand side of the certifications listed always goes up. So I think, last time we spoke about this slide, it was around 399 or something, Louis. So it's gone up to 436. This is from Paul Jeremy. And what this shows is all the different types of certifications out there, that are related to security. The good thing is you're not going to have to do every one of these certifications either in your career. So just want to qualify that. But, Louis, looking at this, I can see some familiar certifications there. Sorry if I'm looking away from the camera, but it's on my other screen. There's some that we've talked about today. There's some we haven't, but again, a lot of these will be vendor-related certifications as well. So you've got some of your Cisco's and your Microsoft and Azure certs in there too.
This is a great slide for DDLS for us. It's a terrible slide for everyone else going, oh my God, what do I have to do? This is so much work. And this is one of those other things that people go, what can I do next? And this is the web page I usually bring up, which is why I always put it into webinars and why we got in this one as well. Because, as we're sort of saying, things like, Ethical Hacker, Security Plus, and SSCP, these are fantastic foundation classes. People go, oh, I want to get into network security. It's like, well, great, here's some great Cisco certifications. Oh, I want to get into governance. Okay, well, looking at things like CISM and other things like that. Or I want to get into risk management, look at CRISC and all sorts of things. Like this is a really good one that, a really good sort of diagram that sort of shows, yes, it is very broad, but here are some of the beginner, intermediate, and expert certificates that we do, and it's something part of the role that Jeremy does. And Jeremy, I can get you to talk to it a bit more than I will. But looking through the market, going, hey, this is what we've looked at these 400 certifications. These are the ones we think are going to be relevant.
Yeah, correct. We regularly navigate that market. I work closely with a lot of the vendors that you see on the screen here, and also talking with our clients just to have a look at what training people are after, what is relevant. A lot of the vendors in the training that I look after are the vendor neutral type certifications. We certainly do all the Microsoft, all the Cisco, Azure, Google, VMware, Citrix, etc. So there's a lot of security certifications that are aligned to those vendors as well. But if you have a snapshot of the vendor neutral cybersecurity courses, this is what it looks like at the moment, and it's continuing to grow. So really, really happy that we're actually able to offer such a good range to our students. Will we always have everything that everyone wants? No, but we will do our best to deliver courses that are relevant and that will help professionals throughout their security career. And of course, with all the training we deliver, we're official training partners. So we don't deliver any training that we're not authorized to deliver. What it means is, you're getting great instructors like Louis, who actually holds a certification. And, with some of these ISC squared and ISACA certifications, there's a practical requirement as well. You have to have the real life experience to actually achieve the certification. So you are getting individuals who know what they're talking about, who have worked in the industry. And at the end of the day, you're coming out with a globally recognized certification. Now, I'm mindful of time, because I know, Louis, you've got a CISM class to get back to, but we do have a few minutes for some questions, and then we've got something special just to announce. So I'm just going to have a quick look to see if we have had any questions come through. Doesn't look like we do. If you do have a question, now's the time to ask.
Or you can always reach out to Jeremy and myself outside of the webinar, or to your account manager, because they'll happily have a chat to you about this stuff.
Look, while we're waiting, I'll quickly drop this on the screen, and this is a bit of an exciting one for. Here we go for everyone on the webinar today. We're actually going out with a special offer. So as I mentioned earlier on, we've got our first CRISC class coming up in September. So it's running from the 5th to the 8th of September. Louis will be delivering this, and because it's the first one we're running, we're going out with a 15% discount offer for this. So it is limited spots, and what we'll do after the webinar is we'll send you an email with the details. If you are interested in sitting on that course, please feel free to book. It's a fantastic course. It's a very valuable certification to have. So just keep an eye out for that email. So Louis, look, it doesn't look like that we have any questions coming through, which is fine. So I'll
because we've been so clear and concise.
I hope so. But as Louis said, if you have any questions, please reach out. We're both on LinkedIn. I'm happy for you to, if you want to reach out to me. We do keep Louis pretty busy teaching most weeks, so more than happy to assist where I can. So look, Louis, thank you so much again for taking time out of your day. I know you're mid-class and you have taken this on your lunch break. I really appreciate you being on board to share some of your wisdom and knowledge around these courses. Really do appreciate it.
It's always good to be here. There's a lot of different classes going on here. A lot of our instructors are all very busy here. We're all got a lot of these classes going on, and there's a lot of new ones that are coming out, particularly from PCB and offensive security, but also some of the other ones as well. It's all very exciting.
It's exciting. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining the webinar today.